guys, it's Chuka here. Welcome back to another one. So I've been using the 16 inches M1 Max Macbook Pro for the past 2 weeks now, and here are the top reasons why I love it. The main reason is its performance and convenience, but we'll get to that later in the video because we need to talk about that in depth. First and foremost, let's talk about this speaker. It has so much bass, sound is so rich. It has a high fidelity 6-speaker sound system with force cancelling woofers, and it has support for spatial audio when playing music or video with Dolby Atmos. Enough of that shenanigans, let's go into more practicality. The speaker is so good, like I can actually compare it to the JBL Flip 4 Bluetooth portable speaker. Let's do a quick speaker test. JBL Flip 4 still wins at the end of the day, but for you to be able to compare laptop speakers to dedicated speakers like this is unheard of. Trust me, you need to listen to sound through the MacBook speaker in person because this audio comparison right here is not doing it justice. As a result of this, I hardly use my JBL speaker while I'm using my MacBook Pro, as the inbuilt speaker on here is more than good and loud enough. This keyboard is something else. It's addictive. Let me show you. Like when you're typing, you know that you're typing. It's so sweet and nice to type on. It makes you want to type even more. It has really nice travel. Even the sound when typing with it is attractive. Can sound be attractive? I don't know, but it's attractive. Before now, this used to be my desk setup with my Dell and also my MacBook when I initially started using it. I used to use the Bluetooth Apple Magic Keyboard, which worked fine. Then keep my laptop to the side and use it as my secondary display, while I use my BenQ external monitor as my primary display. But after trying this out for about 2 days with the MacBook Pro, I realized I was missing out on the greatness of the inbuilt keyboard of the MacBook. So I've abandoned the Apple Magic Keyboard completely at the moment and no longer use the Apple Magic Keyboard. I now use my MacBook display as my primary display while I use my BenQ external monitor as my secondary display. The main reason for this change is the keyboard. I love typing on this keyboard and I'm pretty fast and accurate when typing on it. After switching to this setup, I also realized how it's much more comfortable having to look up at your secondary display rather than having to look sideways. Looking up requires mainly the movement of your eye, while looking sideways requires the movement of your eye, your neck, pretty much your entire face, which will lead to fatigue faster. If you're getting value from this video, please subscribe and turn on post notifications. Loads more of this type of content coming your way soon. The next reason why I love this MacBook Pro is the display. The mini LED display. This display is gorgeous. Like, it's rich and vibrant with good contrast. Hands down the best display I've ever seen. Like, nothing else comes close. Plus it had very slim bezels at the top, bottom and sides. And if you don't know already, I'm a big fan of displays with slim bezels. The dynamic range is incredible when you're watching movies with it. Like, the blacks are true blacks and the whites are like bright whites. I've always been a big fan of watching movies on the biggest display, which in my case is the 27-inch BenQ monitor. But whenever I mirror the MacBook display with that of my BenQ monitor and I'm watching a movie, I see my head drifting more towards the MacBook display because it's way more beautiful. A perfect example of quality beating quantity. In this case, quantity referring to the size of the display. Apple calls the display Liquid Retina XDR display. XDR stands for Extreme Dynamic Range, so that already says a lot. Extreme, like extreme dynamic range, extreme. It's a 16.2-inch display and its resolution is 3456 by 2234, which is technically not 4K. 4K is 3840 by 2160. So the width of this display is not as wide as the width of 4K, but the length is longer than the length of 4K. So I guess we can kind of call it 4K, but not technically 4K, close to 4K. Its pixel density is 254 ppi, which stands for pixels per inch, and it has a peak brightness of 1600 nits when watching HDR content. It has an adaptive refresh rate of up to 120Hz, which Apple calls ProMotion. Next reason why I love this laptop is its battery life. So, laptop companies will always market their laptops as having good battery life. But pretty much all the time, that statement holds true only when you're doing light work, such as watching movies, surfing the net on your browser, like minor stuff like that. When it comes to doing power-intensive tasks like editing videos, the battery would always fall short. Like you'll be getting 30 minutes of battery life from a full charge or even less. Best case scenario, you'll be getting an hour of battery life. This is the first laptop I've seen that one can get roughly about 5 hours of battery life from a full charge when switching between editing videos with Adobe Premiere Pro and surfing the net on Google Chrome. If you use Final Cut Pro as your video editing software, even better, because Apple's own software, Final Cut Pro, and its browser, Safari, use less power and are more optimized with the laptop. I use Adobe Premiere Pro and Google Chrome, which are optimized, don't get me wrong, they're optimized, but they are nowhere near as optimized as Apple's own software, and I can still boast of the battery life being great. If you love watching movies, then you will love this laptop even more, as not only does it have a beautiful display, but Apple also claims you can get up to 21 hours of watch time when streaming content on Apple TV. So I guess you can get somewhere close to that when streaming Netflix movies on Apple's own browser, Safari. I also love the instant wake feature. While the MacBook's on sleep, you just raise the lid, and even before you fully raised it, the MacBook's already turned on and ready to go. Amazing! The battery life remains the same as it was when you left it. If you put the MacBook to sleep at 92% battery level and come back to it many hours later, the battery level still would be at 92% or somewhere close. According to Apple, the MacBook never really sleeps. Just like your phone, it stays in a very low power state when the screen is off. Windows, on the other hand, specifically Dell, don't even bother using sleep, as it's a disaster. Either you shut down or preferably hibernate. If you put the laptop on sleep and you come back the next day, oh my god, chances are the laptop will be completely drained of power, so it's a big hit or miss. If you put the laptop on hibernate, the battery level remains the same, but it's going to take another 10 to 15 seconds for the laptop to come on. So you get the point. This instant wake feature isn't peculiar to this MacBook alone. All M1 and M2 MacBooks have this feature. So it's an M1 M2 MacBook feature. And it's a really cool feature. I love it. Let's go into the next one. Now, the main reason why I got the 16 inches M1 Max Macbook Pro in the first place is because of its performance and convenience. Or rather, I think the better word to use in place of convenience is efficiency. Because it's the efficiency that makes it convenient. You can be doing very tedious jobs with this MacBook and you barely ever hear fan noise. Like for the very few occasions where the fan comes on, it's baby fan noise you'll be hearing compared to that of Windows laptops. This almost lack of fan noise means a lot to me because I love silence when working. I love peace and quiet. And this is made possible because of Apple's invention of the lineup of M1 chips, which are highly efficient chips. Before then, Apple used to use chips from Intel. They used it for years, but those chips weren't the best. They are good chips, don't get me wrong, but they are not efficient. Because Apple now makes their chips in-house, they have greater control of how their laptops will work, and as a result, they are able to optimize their laptops to work the way they want it to work. So cool. These M1 and M2 lineups of chips are able to carry out difficult tasks using very little amount of power. Like it doesn't stress too much, it's not a power-hungry chip. That's what makes it efficient. And that's why the fan hardly comes on, because if you're not consuming much power, you won't generate as much heat. Also, you get the same high level of performance from the laptop, whether you have it plugged into power or not. So I can conveniently edit videos at the highest level of performance, even when I'm out and about and I don't have access to power supply. All these while still enjoying little to no fan noises and great battery life. Anyone that's used a Windows laptop to edit videos knows that there's a significant drop in performance when you are running on battery and not plugged into power. Like significant drop coupled with the battery life not lasting long. Just like I said in the unboxing video, I've been a Windows guy for the past 6 years and I would have still stayed with Windows to be honest if Apple didn't invent the M1 chip. More specifically in my case, the M1 Max chip. See, this chip is actually truly revolutionary. The specs of the MacBook Pro I have is 32GB RAM, 10-core CPU, 24-core GPU, M1 Max, and it has a storage of 1TB SSD. I would have gotten 2TB SSD, but Apple sells an additional 1TB of SSD for $400. Like come on Apple, I know your SSDs are fast and powerful, like they have amazing read and write speeds, but $400 man, that's a big stretch. In a future video, I'll be diving into Adobe Premiere Pro to show you just how well it performs, because that deserves a video of its own. Now, the next reason why I love this laptop is its amazing webcam camera. So it has a pretty decent 1080p webcam camera. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Chuka on the mic. This is what the webcam camera of the 2021 16 inches M1 Max Macbook Pro looks like, and this is what its inbuilt microphone sounds like. It's a 1080p camera and it has an f2.0 aperture. I'm recording this using Apple's QuickTime application in Apple's ProRes 422 codec, Apple's beloved ProRes 422 codec. How does it look? Does it look great or does it look bad? You be the judge. Let me know in the comment section down below. The internal microphone of the MacBook is alright. It's not wow in my opinion, but I really like how well it captures sound when you're doing screen recordings with the MacBook. Like the keyboard sound that you heard earlier in the video when I was doing the keyboard typing test was captured using the internal microphone of this MacBook. It was able to reduce drastically the background noise coming from my non-light, pretty loud fan. Apple says it has a studio quality 3 mic array with high signal to noise ratio and directional beam forming. So that makes sense why the noise reduction is so good. Other honorable mentions of the MacBook is its large trackpad. To be honest, I never saw the point of having a large trackpad until I started using one. I always wondered why MacBooks had large trackpads, but now I understand why. It's awesome. That's all I can see. So now let's quickly talk about the external display support of this MacBook. The M1 Max Macbook Pro can be connected to up to 4 external monitors, 3 6K 60Hz monitors and 1 4K 60Hz monitor at the same time. I use just one external monitor at the moment and just one works for my workflow, but I like how it gives me the option for more, so that in the future if I need more external monitors I can connect to them all. I'm not going to mention the SD card slot and the HDMI port as reasons why I love the MacBook Pro. I wouldn't mention their names right now, because those are ports I already had on my previous laptop. What I do appreciate though is the fact that it has 3 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, 2 at the left, 1 at the right. My previous laptop had just 1. I really wish it had at least 1 USB Type A port, as it would have truly eliminated my need for dongles. Good thing is I rarely need the USB Type A port. Only time I need it is when transferring completely done projects to my external hard drive, which happens like once a month. So I'm able to keep my workspace clean and tidy and free of dongles. It's actually really surprising that I hardly use USB Type A. Like, I never knew that it's come to that to get to a time where I can actually do without USB Type A for most part of my work. Also, being able to charge the MacBook via any of its 3 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports is a plus, as you're not limited to using the MagSafe cable only. You can use a USB Type-C to Type-C cable along with the included power adapter. Only downside is that the charging speed is going to be slower, as Thunderbolt 4 ports only support charge speeds of up to 100 watts, so it won't be fully utilizing the 140 watts power rating of the power adapter, but that is something I can definitely live with. 100 watts is still more than fast enough. If you edit videos with your laptop and you're on the fence on if you should get the 14 inches or 16 inches, the answer is simple. My friend, my brother, get the 16 inches. That extra 2 inches makes the big difference in terms of display size. And you probably know that the bigger the display, the more things you can fit into it, and the better the overall editing experience. The only reason I personally feel you should consider the 14 inches is because of its lighter weight. The M1 Max 16 inches, which I have here, weighs 4.8 pounds, while the 14 inches weighs 3.5 pounds. So it's about 1.3 pounds lighter, but to be honest, the 16 inches is really that heavy. Like, it's not that heavy. I actually thought the weight was going to be a burden, but it's not at all. You can comfortably use it on your lap. I think Apple did a great job with the weight distribution. If you got to this point of the video, thank you. Thanks for watching. You're the real MVP. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, if you got value from it, please subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't already. Like, drop a comment in the comment section, come say hi, and we'll see you in the next one. Just as I have told you the main things I love about this MacBook, I'll also tell you what I don't like about the MacBook in a future video. So stay tuned to that. Bye. Cheers. Adios.